Well, ladies and gentlemen, more GPUs have arrived. I bought 7 3070s from my good friend Death Valley Mining. If you guys are interested in GPUs that are like 10 to 20% cheaper than eBay prices, I'll have his email down below. He can send them through PayPal Goods and Services. And overall, it's definitely just a much cheaper way to get GPUs than buying them even on eBay. So he told me he used to be an Amazon seller, so they should be insanely well packed. So far it looks like it. But let's get these out. We're gonna unbox them all, and then I'm gonna get them all hooked up so that we can be back to having 3 12-card rigs. So get this bad boy out of here. It looks like there is 2 boxes inside of a box. So yeah, definitely well packed. I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way. There should be a couple EVGA cards in here and then a couple Asus cards, if I'm remembering correctly. So let's see what we're working with here. Oh, and I totally forgot. He sent me a 1200 watt PSU with all the cables as well. I may end up getting a 5090, so I needed a 1200 watts, and he got basically a ton of them with his, I hope you guys watched his video buying 150 GPUs. He had unlimited power supplies from that deal, so he ended up just giving me one of those for free with my purchase. So these are, let me get this out of here and I'll show you. These are Sigotep 1250 gold, fully modular. Came with all the cables. Pretty good brand, and these things look to be in insane condition, not dirty at all, so that's a great sign. Let's get the rest of these cards out. I mean, they are boxed inside of boxes, so that is some great packaging. Let's get that out. And there we go, 7 GPUs. Okay, let's finish getting these unwrapped. So a lot of them are this variety of Asus cards, and you can see, I mean, totally clean. So that's amazing. Still have the little port covers on. Love to see that. And then somewhere in here we should also have some EVGA cards. I don't know if I've ever seen, I've seen 3060 Ti's in this variant, but I don't think I've ever seen 3070s. They seem a little thicker than the 3060 Ti's. There's one of the EVGA. Always love those 3-fan cards. Very, very reliable cards. Always try to get those if I can. Temps are also very good on those ones as well. Give them the old RPM spin. Beautiful. I mean, all of these are like brand new. Okay, here they all are. So 4 Asus 3070s, 3 EVGA 3070s, and 1 Sigotep 1250 gold PSU. This is going to come in handy eventually. So what's the plan? We're going to be popping this rig out of that bottom shelf. It's got room for 5 more cards. Hopefully be super easy to just throw those on there and everything works perfectly. And this is a quick video, but I have a feeling there's going to be issues, but hopefully not. So probably just going to put that rig down on the ground, throw the cards in, shove it back in, and see how it works. Okay, so pop this off, turn on my fancy new lights, and let's turn this off. And then we should be able to just scoot this guy out of here. Okay. Now, I took all the risers off this. I wish I didn't do that, but I need to go ahead and put those back on. This has 2 server PSUs and then this big boy 1000 watt. So Some cards will be on 1000 watts, some cards will be on the 1200, and some will be on the 750. I just need to make sure that the risers and the power cables are all on the same PSUs. So we'll just start from the right side here. I kind of want to get all of my EVGA cards side by side, which is going to be a bit annoying, but probably worth going ahead and doing that. So maybe we'll start from the left and I'll move this one over there. Okay, so unplug this guy. So this is where I need to make sure that I get my power supplies right, which is going to be a bit of a nightmare here. And this is also going to need an extra long USB cable, so I'm going to take this off right here, plug this bad boy on, and then bring that through here over to this card. Okay, so I got this plugged into this PSU on the left, so I also need to make sure that this one is on the left. Which it is, but it's all tangled in there, so I gotta get this out of here. All right, that's one of many more. I'm gonna have to cut these zip ties off here. They're really limiting how far I can move those cables. Okay, that's one down. Let's grab our next one. Got my bag of risers right here. All right, guys, I ended up just skipping through all that. I've got all 12 GPUs installed down here now. I'll give you a close-up in a second. Figured it's not that interesting seeing someone mess around with all the wires, figure out which one is going to each power supply. It ended up taking me like over an hour to do it. So it is all working though. That's great. All 7 cards from Death Valley Mining work perfectly. So if you guys want cheaper than eBay GPUs, shoot him an email and check out his channel. He's got a ton of them. So now that I've got all these plugged in, I want to go over a few different things. It's been a few days since I got these plugged up. I've been really busy with a bunch of other projects, getting all this lighting installed. You can see that it's 70 degrees in here right now, but I actually have the fan turned off because it is a cold day outside. So if you remember from a previous video, I was worried about sucking freezing cold air into the enclosure because basically it was getting 85 degrees during the day, 50 degrees at night, and that large 30-degree temperature swing day after day is not good for GPUs. So I did find a fix to that thanks to some guys in the comments, and I'm going to show you what that fix is right now. So as you can see, the fan back there is turned off, and that is because I got this little device back here. And what this is a temperature controller. Let me see if I can get it in focus. There we go. So what this does is it has a temperature probe, and I've got that probe set right in the back of the exhaust there. And what it's saying is that at 83 degrees in the exhaust chamber, it will turn the fan on, and then it will turn the fan back off when the exhaust chamber is 72 degrees. So
Right now it's 82.9. We should actually see it turn back on in a second. But what this is doing, and I'll pop up a graph on screen, is this is taking the temperature swings and making them way, way less severe. So I'll pop the graph up on screen now, but you can see from the past week or 2 weeks that I was having those huge swings between night and day. And now with this fan automatically turning on and off at certain temperatures, I've basically reduced the size of that temperature swing by a ton. Now the only downside of this is I think it might wear that DC fan a lot more, turning it off and on 10 times a day. But still, I'd rather buy a new fan than have to start replacing GPUs, though I've never had any die from temperature swings. So there's a few other things I want to do in this video that weren't originally planned, but now that it's been a few days, I need to get some additional work done on the farm. You will notice that my KS0 Ultras do not have their shrouds on them. That is these two on the side here. These are no longer overclocked. And there we go. You can see it got to 83 degrees back there. That fan is going to start pulling some freezing cold air in, and then it's going to turn off as soon as it gets to 70 in there, which won't be long at all. But as I was saying, these are no longer overclocked. I was spending about 400 watts to make like 1 cent, so I might as well take off the overclock, spend 200 watts to make like 1 cent, and that way my power bill is lower at the end of each month. But additionally, it's freezing outside. It's like 50 today. I'm planning on putting these inside very soon in a separate video. I'm going to be using those little Vonnet Wi-Fi bridges so that these can all be wireless units. This is a new video that'll be coming out this weekend, so look forward to that one. It's a CPU mining rig build that did not go as planned. All kinds of stuff went wrong, but we did finally get it up and running. So what's next? I am going to be replacing these windows. So let's go ahead and do that. If you remember, right now I've got screen material on here so that that fan can pull cold air in through here, and it is freezing right now coming through with that fan on. I'm going to be putting the glass back into these. That window over there is shut, and that way I can start to use that heat to heat my garage and then to open this door and heat the rest of the house, because it's too early to move everything inside, but I would like to heat it on days like this. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, like 16 screws per window, so this might take a second. I just switched it to 60 FPS. Let's see if the frame rate's any better. Okay. Wow, look at how dirty these things are. Compare the corners to the center. So I'm gonna keep these for next year. Maybe just throw them in the washing machine or something to get them cleaned up. But they definitely serve their purpose. All this filter material was like $7 for all of it, and I used it for the whole summer. So as a reminder, this is where I have all the glass. These 4 glass panels back here, these things are extremely fragile, so I need to be very careful here. Go ahead and place those in and then start getting the screws in those. So another quick time lapse for you guys. Now, when I took these windows out, I had to cut away some like caulking on them. So I'm hoping that they're still pretty airtight. And if not, I may have to do some sort of different caulking to keep them airtight, but I don't know, that feels pretty good. So let's get this up in here. Looks good. Okay, and that looks like it's gonna work and be pretty easy to get these back in. So I'm glad I thought to do this because I had so much more airflow coming in this year all through the summer. I really didn't have temp issues after I made that enclosure. And I didn't even know that this is what Red Panda Mining did. He took his garage windows out. I didn't know that until I did this and saw one of his videos a few months later. But if you have a garage, this is a great way to get some airflow.
All right, well, it's not as quickly putting them back in as it is taking them out, but easy enough. So I'll see you guys when they're all put up. All righty. All closed off. That window's closed, so I can now go ahead and open this door to start getting some heat in my house. My house was 60 degrees when I woke up this morning, so that will be nice. I may end up getting some sort of fan to blow upstairs. I have this little one in the corner over here, and then I have an even bigger version of this one back there. I might have to whip one of those out. So my issue now is that all of my cards are just pumping their heat into that little enclosure, and if I don't turn the fan on, that little enclosure is going to be the only thing that's getting any heat. And I could flip all the rigs around so the fans are all blowing out, which is probably one of the easiest things to do, but I think what I'm going to try to do, I really wish I could just reverse the orientation on that fan to blow out. But what I think I'm just going to do is remove this wall, and now all of that heat is just going to kind of billow out of there, and hopefully if I get a fan in here blowing up the steps, then that will be some airflow to take it out. But eventually, in about a month or so, I'll be moving all these upstairs and I won't have to deal with this issue. Okay, final update. I took all of the foam off of the shelf so that heat can escape from back there from all the different areas. Foam's also removed from the side. This fan is turned off, so the temp sensor is not going to control it right now because I don't want it trying to suck any air out of here since there's no intakes. So everything's closed off in here now. I've got this tiny little fan on a smart outlet to pump this heat hopefully up my new stairs. And then I've got one of my Govee sensors hanging in here to monitor if it's actually working or not. We should see a temperature increase. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching Modern Mining, and I've got a lot of good mining videos coming up of how to mine during winter, so check it out.